What's going on, guys? It's HawkWX, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my RLCS 2026 Kickoff LAN power rankings. If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Now let's get into the video. As per usual, we're going to start with the trusty heads up slide, but before I talk about the heads up slide, I just want to say I'm actually going to have a couple of videos talking about this Kickoff LAN this week. And I'm actually recording both of them right now. So I'm going to record this power rankings video, and then I'm going to record a predictions video right after this. I'm hoping that I'll have this up on Tuesday this week, and then the predictions video up on Wednesday this week, if everything goes to plan. And the reason for that is because I'm actually stuck at home right now, which I'm not going to complain about that. I am not going to complain about that. Thanksgiving break just got over for me, but we had a snowstorm over the weekend, so I wasn't able to go back up on Sunday. And then we got like 4 more inches of snow today, so I wasn't able to go back up today. So I'm recording 2 videos today and taking advantage of the time at home. I'm going to try to get these videos out. I figured it'd be a good idea to not drive back up to college and end up in a ditch, because in real life, you can't press A when you're on your back to flip back over like you can in Rocket League, unfortunately. And also, the last thing I'll say before I read this heads up slide, I actually made some ice cream out of snow today, and I'm gonna put that on screen here. I know that sounds crazy. I promise I'm not morbidly obese. It's only like 400 calorie ice cream, which I know sounds kind of crazy, but it was like 8 cups of snow, some milk, vanilla extract, some sugar, and it was actually pretty goated. It was pretty good. And I have to eat like 3,000 calories a day, so get off me before you say anything. But anyway, now that little yap session probably got 99% of you guys to click off the video, let's talk about this heads up slide. This video will be power ranking the 12 teams, 6 from EU and 6 from NA, who will be playing at the Copenhagen Kickoff LAN. I also mentioned what I see as each team's chance to win this whole event. This power ranking is almost like a prediction as well, in the sense that my top 8 is probably who I would expect to make the top 8 of this event to play for an extra major spot for their region. However, I plan to make a predictions video for this LAN as well, because this game is all about matchups, so I could easily predict a different top 8 than what my power rankings say here. Plus, I love predictions. I think we all love predictions. And as you guys might be able to tell, I also love power rankings. At number 12, to start out our power rankings today, I have 100x35 esports, and this might surprise you guys because they've actually looked pretty dang good so far through the first NA regional, but I got them at number 12. I just feel like they aren't going to do quite as good on LAN as they have online in NA. Could be wrong, but yeah, we'll see. This is Crispy, Psy, and CMAS. My main reasoning, this team has a very high floor, but I do not think that their ceiling is much higher than their floor. No offense to Shuffles Kittens, old Team Evo, but this team is basically them, but more mechanical. This team, which is a good thing, by the way. This team can make top 8 if they play well. Not sure how they'll play on LAN. Very underrated team. Chance to win tournament, 0%. I feel kind of bad. I probably, for these teams that I have chance to win 0%, I probably should have put like their chance to make top 8. But realistically, 100x35 esports, they can make top 8, but winning the event, I'm going to say it's not going to happen. And also, all 12 of the teams that are here are actually really good, because it's like the top 6 of NA and the top 6 of EU, minus NRG. Not sure what NRG decided to do. I'm pretty sure they did the play with your feet and turn off your monitor challenge for the last regional in NA, because they somehow missed top 8. But yeah, it still remains NA on top, NRG number 1 in the world. I actually think there's a new number 1 in the world, but anyway, I'll probably save that for another video. Let's move on to the next one now. We got 11 Foot Esports, Cheese, Frosty, and Sosa. My main reasoning, I think this team can definitely outperform this power ranking and have a shot to make top 8 at this event. They had a nice win against Genji earlier in the first NA Open, but they got flattened by SSG. If Frosty can play well in his LAN debut, this team can actually be very dangerous. I expect Cheese and Sosa to play pretty well. They have a shot to make top 8 at this event, chance to win tournament, 0%. Foot, the reason I have them at number 11 ahead of 100x35 esports is because I think Foot has a little bit of a higher ceiling, and I also know that Cheese and Sosa actually have quite a bit of LAN experience under their belts at this point. Frosty's the question mark, but if Frosty can play well and do somewhat what he can do online on LAN, this team should do pretty well. I think it'd be disrespectful to put this team at number 12, honestly, with the quality of players they have on their roster. And I can 100% see them outdo this ranking. Like I was saying, I think they can make top 8 at this event. Do I think it'll happen? Probably not. There's a lot of really good teams at this event. But yeah, number 11, I think is pretty fair for them. Now moving on to number 10, I've got Novo Esports. This is a Chronic, Nico, and Juk. And this has been a pleasant surprise, I would say, during this first EU regional it's been ongoing. But anyway, they've looked very good and deserve credit. They were beating KC 2-0. Okay, I could be wrong about this actually. I'm pretty sure this is what happened. I actually didn't go back and watch, but I was seeing it on Twitter, so I think this is what happened. They were beating K-Corp 2-0, then had a player disconnect, and they got reverse swept. Either way, even if that thing didn't happen where a player disconnected, they were up for sure. I looked on Wikipedia, 2-0 on K-Corp at one point, which no matter what, that's pretty good to do. That's a solid performance, even though they got reverse swept. But yeah, I think they deserve their flowers for that. Despite this, they have still made top 6 and handled Genelbench in top 8 to do this. By the way, Genelbench has been one of the biggest disappointments to me so far this season. I know it's literally just the first Open that just happened, but I thought that Matsu, Radosin, and Eugen were going to do quite a lot better than they actually have been so far. I thought that they were going to be a potential, like, almost major-making team in EU. I thought they'd be like 5th or 6th in EU, which they still could be, who knows, but yeah, they've looked kind of rough so far. But anyway, I think Chronic looks great on this team, and Nico and Juk also look great. All 3 of these players were underrated heading into the season, especially Chronic. This team can upset anyone on their day, can possibly make top 8. Chance to win tournament, 0%. I don't think Novo can win the tournament, but if they make top 8, it genuinely wouldn't surprise me. Now at number 9, 2 Danes, 1 Bruv. Hopefully you guys like the little flags flying up there, the 2 Danes, like it's 2 Danish flags, and then 1 English flag, or England flag, because like it's 2 Danes, 1 Bruv. All right, now that you unsubscribed, 2 Danes, 1 Bruv. Acro, Edgeby, and Tempo. My main reasoning, this team has a legitimate chance to make majors out of EU, made top 6 by handling everyone in front of them, and then went to Game 7 with K-Corp in their upper bracket playoff match, which I have to respect. These players seem to have good chemistry and they have a consistent playstyle, can make top 8 here. Tempo is super underrated. Chance to win tournament, 0%. I actually feel like that chance to win tournament being 0% is a little bit harsh. I was gonna put less than 1%, but I just decided to put 0 because I think it is probably unlikely that they'll win. But in the back of my mind, I think there actually is a slight, very, very slight chance that 2 Danes, 1 Bruv could do the unthinkable, but I don't think they will. I think it's not gonna happen. So I gave them a 0%. But I do like this 2 Danes, 1 Bruv team quite a bit. They look pretty dang strong. Wouldn't want to play them. But anyway, moving on to number 8 now. At number 8, we have Redacted. This is 2-piece Talk and Wavy, and this has been one of the best surprises, I think, in NA. I expected this team to be good in NA, but I didn't expect them to be taking down NRG and to be taking down 100x35 Esports and multiple other teams that people had rated ahead of them. I think that they've looked very, very solid so far. And they look consistent. They actually look consistent. And keep in mind, 2-piece and Wavy did just make Worlds with Reddles. Reddles left, Talk came in. It's not like this is a team of scrubs. Like, these are legitimately good players. I think this might be a next up team in NA. Like, I really do. And I'll talk about that here now. Main reasoning, they genuinely have had an insane run. To say they have exceeded expectations is an understatement. They beat Top Lab, which is that calm team, who pros had rated at number 9 in NA, NRG, who pros rated as unanimously number 1 in NA, and 100x35 Esports, who pros rated as number 6 in NA. Pros rated Redacted as number 7 in NA. So Redacted beat 2 teams that the pros had rated ahead of them, including unanimous number 1 in NA. And NRG was not looking bad before they played Redacted. They were actually looking very good. So I think Redacted is legit, like I really do. Did NRG maybe start playing a little bit worse after they lost to Redacted? I would say so, but I think Redacted played a legitimate NRG team, and I think they legitimately beat them. Was NRG peaking? No, but was NRG playing badly? I don't think so. I think Redacted just were playing really well. I really do. So yeah, Redacted. I'm kind of buying into their stocks, but anyway, I believe Redacted just sent a message to NA that they are legit. I am even buying into them because of how consistent they were. They looked good on different days. After making a convincing top 4 in the first NA Open of the RLCS 2026 season, it's pretty safe to say that Redacted are major contenders in NA. Chance to win tournament, I give them a 1% chance. I think if they peaked, if they played to their highest potential level, maybe they could do something crazy. Maybe they could win, but guys, it says 1%. Don't think too deeply into that. Wavy and 2-piece have some LAN experience under their belts now, and I actually think Wavy is a good LAN player. Like, I seriously thought he looked good on Shopify at Worlds this past season. I think you have Talk, as long as Talk can play well and play decently, which I think Talk is actually incredibly consistent. If all 3 of those players can just play consistently on LAN and play how they typically do, I think they're going to probably make top 8 of this event. They definitely can do it. If they can beat NRG, they can do it, but we'll just have to see. They are a little bit of a question mark to me, but I really just want to give them their flowers because they've looked really, really good so far throughout this first NA Open. And they are major contenders in NA. They've literally already made top 4 in NA, and the regional's not even over yet, but they've already made top 4. So as of right now, after this Open gets over, they're literally in 4th place, which means they are sitting in a major spot. Obviously, it's just the first Open, but I'm just saying, they are, by definition, major contenders right now. Now at number 7, I have Gingy Mobile 1 Racing. This is Justin Rise and Magic Bear. I love the way this team looks on paper, and I think they are actually a lot more built for LANs than people think. But anyway, my main reasoning, even though they did lose to Foot round 1, I think they deserve credit for beating M80 3-1 and for beating NRG 3-0, even if NRG were struggling to make top 8. It was also a Game 5 loss to Foot. And then they went on after that and they swept Silence the next day, which obviously Silence, I know that they're not like the best team in the world, but they did sweep them and handled business. They've looked good. Outside of that loss to Foot, they've looked really, really good. And also, drawing Foot as your first round matchup when Gingy and Foot probably aren't that far apart in terms of like how good they are, that's a pretty rough matchup to pull first round, I'm not gonna lie. I just thought it was crazy that they went out and swept NRG to knock NRG out of the tournament. I know NRG were struggling, but Gingy has looked good. They honestly have looked pretty dang good in my opinion. But anyway, Rise looks like a very good fit on Gingy, and the team's level of play is solid. I could see Justin and Rise being a nasty duo on LAN. All 3 players are good on LAN. Another dark horse in my opinion. Chance to win tournament, 8%. So yeah, that's a pretty significant chance to win in the tournament that I just gave them, 8%, but I really think Gingy could do it. I don't expect it, I don't think it'll happen necessarily, but if they were peaking and playing at their highest level, I see Justin, Rise, and Magic Bear on paper, why would they not be able to win at all? Also, by the way, Justin has like 120 hours past 2 consistently right now, which is diabolical. That guy wants it. Rise is always good on LAN, and Magic Bear can do whatever he wants with the ball, this team's being underrated. I genuinely think they're going to make top 8 at this event. I could be wrong, but I genuinely really like this Gen G roster. And they've been looking good so far. Outside of that loss to Foot, and it was a Game 5 loss, they've looked good. Now at number 6, we have Team Vitality. This is Exotic, Stizzy, and Zen. My main reasoning, I think this team is good, but getting 4-1 by NIP is not a good look for them. They struggled hard against NIP. I have not quite seen what I'd like to see out of this team yet. Nonetheless, all 3 of these players are strong on LAN, and they have this guy named Zen on their team. Zen's pretty good. Even with their rough loss to NIP, they still appear to be a good team. Chance to win tournament, I give them 10%. If Vitality were to win this event, it wouldn't be that crazy. Do I expect it? Honestly, no, I don't. I wouldn't even consider them a favorite at this tournament. But dude, Exotic, Stizzy, and Zen, they're gonna do well on LAN. Like, I do think they will. I haven't quite seen what I want to out of them, but they're still one of the best teams here, and they are, in my opinion, a dark horse to win this tournament. Calling them a dark horse might sound kind of crazy, but I don't think they're a favorite. I don't think it's crazy either to say that they're not a favorite. But anyway, moving on to number 5 now. Ninjas in Pajamas. I have to put them here because of that upset on Vitality. They looked really good against Vitality. And maybe it's not an upset. Who knows? I don't know what goes on in scrims. But anyway, number 5, Ninjas in Pajamas. CRR, Joraz, and Oli. My main reasoning, I did think this team had a lot of potential, but if you told me I'd have them power ranked at number 5 for any event this season, I would not have believed you, and that's true. I did in my team potential video, and in other videos I think I talked about NIP, and I talked about how they actually were a sleeper to be quite good this season. But I didn't think they'd come out in the first EU Open and 4-1 Vitality. Didn't see that one coming, I'm not gonna lie. But it's really not that surprising. Joraz and Oli had a great season last season. CRR maybe not so great, but like still 5th in NA, that's not bad at all. CRR, Joraz, Oli, they kind of sent a message, I think, after 4-1ing Vitality. But anyway, I have to give them their flowers. They've already made top 4 in the EU Regional and made Vitality look rough. They seem to trust each other and complement each other well. This could be a dark horse to win this whole event. Chance to win tournament, 10%. So I think NIP and Vitality have the same chance to win this whole tournament. They're a strong roster, but anyway. At number 4, I have Gentlemates Alpine. This is Archie, Nas, and Oski. Main reasoning, I am pretty happy with this mates roster so far. They have not lost a series that they shouldn't have yet. They are a well-rounded team with a high ceiling and decently high floor. All 3 players are good on LAN, but Oski is S tier on LAN. I'm not saying that Nas and Archie can't also be S tier on LAN, but I haven't seen Oski ever have a bad LAN. Like, genuinely, never seen the guy not play out of his mind on LAN. So yeah, I expect this team to do well. I see them as the 2nd best team in EU, at least for now. I expect them to have, but it says I expect them to do have because I'm illiterate. But anyway, I expect them to do have a strong showing at this event. Chance to win tournament, 15%. So that's a pretty big jump there. Let's just go back here a little bit. So yeah, we go from 1% to 8%, which that's a really big jump, obviously, from Redacted to Gen G, but then just a 2% jump, 0% jump, and then a 5% jump. 15% too. That is a pretty big chance to win when you consider there's only 12 teams here, and only 8 of them have percent chances to win, at least in my book. So to have a 15% chance when all these teams are really good is actually pretty dang good. I think Gentlemates are legit. I think they can win this event, and it wouldn't be crazy at all. Honestly, this top 4 is probably your favorites. But yeah, Gentlemates, Archie, Nas, and Oski, I expect them to have a good LAN. And like I was just saying, top 4 teams here now, I would say are your favorites. So now let's move on to number 3, another team I would call one of the favorites, Shopify Rebellion. This is First Killer, Kofor, and LJ. My main reasoning, I've seen just about exactly what I expected to see out of Shopify so far. I have seen the high power offense that I expected to see from them, and also the First Killer show that I expected to see. Kofor looks very good on this team. Kofor and First Killer have actually looked really good so far together as a duo. They seem to have a good playstyle as well. This team can win the whole event, and it would not be surprising if they did. Chance to win tournament, 15%. So I give them the same percent chance to win as I did Gentlemates. But yeah, Shopify, man, First Killer, Kofor, LJ, the roster's just too stacked. That's just all there is to it. They gotta be top 3 at this event. They are one of the favorites to win this tournament. LJ is always good on LAN. Kofor was, in my opinion, SSG's best player on LAN last season. Reveal was also really good. And online, I don't necessarily know that I would say Kofor was their best, but I think on LAN, Kofor became their best player by the time the season was over. And then First Killer is just a robot. Like, I don't know how to explain it. He is just always routinely, arguably the best player in NA, and he's just always so unbelievably good on LAN. This might be the tournament where he gets it done. It really might be. But anyway, at number 2, I have Space Station Gaming. This is not one that if you asked me before this regional started in NA, that I would have expected to have at number 2 on this Kickoff LAN power rankings. Wouldn't have expected it, but here we are. I have them at number 2. They've looked great. They have exceeded my expectations significantly. But anyway, number 2, Space Station Gaming, Chronic, Diaz, and Reveal. My main reasoning, I do not want to overreact, but this might be the 2nd best team in North America. They did beat Shopify and they handled them. I would say NRG is still number 1. I know NRG just lost, but they got to be number 1 in NA still, I think. Unless they start to just crumble and their mentality goes to crap and they just literally just fall apart, which no one wants to see that. And I'm not expecting that. But yeah, I would say NRG is still number 1 in NA. But I think you could say it's Space Station number 2 and then Shopify number 3. And Gen G number 4, based on what we've seen so far. I don't think it's crazy to say Space Station's number 2. And if you want to argue that they're number 1, that's not even that crazy either, after how NRG just did. but I do think NRG still deserves number 1. I think they're going to bounce back. But Space Station, calling them number 2 in NA, I think is a legitimate thing you can argue. They've just looked really damn good. But anyway, they have beaten Shopify 3-1 and Foot 4-0 so far in the NA regional. Diaz appears to be playing threes at the highest level he ever has so far. He just looks so much more free with Chronic and Reveal, and he's actually playing at a really high level in threes. If he can do what he's been doing online on LAN so far this season, I know it's literally only like half a regional so far. They're going to be dangerous though, if he can play at that same level that he's been playing at online on LAN so far this season. I want to point out that I put Reveal at number 17 in the world and Chronic at number 15 in the world on my list of the top 25 players in the world. I know ball. But genuinely, Reveal and Chronic have looked unreal. Chronic looks free without First Killer, and I do not mean that as a shot at First Killer. I think Chronic and FK both are on teams that better fit their own playstyles now. I think that Diaz and Reveal are better for Chronic to have around him, and I think Kofor and LJ is better for First Killer to have around him. But anyway, SSG look fast and mechanical, and they have a good playstyle. They can beat anyone. I truly believe that. This might be like a top 4, top 6 team in the world consistently. The way they've looked online so far, again, I don't want to overreact. Could be completely wrong, but this team looks dangerous, like genuinely dangerous. As long as Diaz can play decently on LAN, and if he plays at his highest level on LAN, along with Reveal and Chronic, who we know are going to play good on LAN, SSG is going to do damage. I think this SSG roster is better than last season's SSG roster, but I really do think when SSG's peaking, they can beat literally anybody in the world. Chance to win tournament, 18%. So you see a jump here. I have 15% for Gentlemates, 15% for Shopify. And again, I would say that from Gentlemates on is my favorites. So Gentlemates, one of my favorites. Shopify, one of my favorites. Space Station, one of my favorites. But then you see that 18% chance to win instead of 15. I do think there is a decent little jump from Gentlemates and Shopify to Space Station in terms of chance to win this event. Space Station just looked phenomenal. I really am super happy with what I've seen from them so far. But anyway, we're going to move on to number 1 now. And at number 1, Karmine Corp. It's that simple. This is Atao, Juicy, and Vatira. My main reasoning, I believe they deserve the number 1 spot as of now. Vatira and Atao are too good on LAN. It's that simple. Vatira and Atao. They are going to play well on LAN. You know they're going to. Juicy, literally, I know it was a couple seasons ago now. He did win at the Copenhagen Major, which we're going back to Copenhagen. At the Copenhagen Major, he won the MVP of that major. And Juicy's also a really solid LAN player. Last season when Gentlemates made one of those majors, I don't remember which one it was actually at this point, but when they made that major, oh yeah, it was Raleigh. When they made the Raleigh Major, Juicy actually looked pretty dang good still. So I'm not worried about any of these players on LAN. And Atao and Vatira just feel like an automatic top 4 at every LAN they go to. I can't really explain it. They just do. Maybe I'm overrating Karmine, but I think they deserve number 1 for now. I just think they're the favorite. I think they're the number 1 overall favorite at this tournament. Space Station's right behind them, I think. But yeah, Karmine looks really good. But anyway, the only other team with an argument for number 1, at least before this tournament starts, is SSG. In my opinion, I don't think there's been 2 teams that have been more dominant and more convincing so far than Karmine and SSG. Actually, I would say that SSG probably has been more dominant, more convincing than Karmine so far. But Karmine, man, on LAN, I think they're just gonna be different. But yeah, I see SSG and Karmine as the 2 favorites. Not by like a ton, but I do think they're the 2 overall favorites. Like that would be maybe your grand final, I guess. Unless they run into each other earlier than that. But then like Shopify and Gentlemates, I think they also have really solid chances. And then NIP, Vitality, teams like that, Gen.G, who knows? But anyway, I think this is the best team in Europe. Chance to win tournament, I give them a 23% chance. I hope you enjoy how I just pull these numbers out of my ass. So yeah, guys, that's all I got for my power rankings. But again, really quick, I just want to go over my favorites. So from Karmine Corp, Space Station, Shopify, and Gentlemates, those are my favorites. But I think Space Station and Karmine are like your overall favorites. Like your grand final potentially. Ninja's got a chance, Vitality got a chance, Gen.G got a chance, Redacted, maybe, maybe not. Don't know. But I do think Gen.G kind of like closes that, I don't know. I think Gen.G is kind of like I think they have a chance. They're a dark horse. I think Vitality's a dark horse, but if Vitality won, it wouldn't be as crazy as if Gen.G won. And then Ninja's actually, I don't know. I feel really good about this Gen.G roster. Like if they won, it actually wouldn't surprise me that much. And then I think Vitality, Ninjas, and Gen.G, call them your dark horses, I guess. And then I think, again, Gentlemates, Shopify, Space Station, Karmine, those are your favorites. And then the rest back here, like 100x35, Foot, Novo, 2 Danes, 1 Bruv, Redacted 2. Redacted by far the most chance. Like I think they'll make top 8. But, or at least in my power rankings, they haven't been 8th. But 2 Danes, 1 Bruv, and Novo Esports, Foot, and 100x35. They've all got a chance to definitely upset teams and be surprising at this tournament. And as always, guys, the last slide on my little presentation things. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Also, guys, down in the comments, let me know what you think about my power rankings. How would you guys power rank these teams going to the Kickoff LAN? I'd be really interested to know. And I'm excited, man. I'm actually very, very excited to watch this LAN this weekend. I'm going to try to watch the whole entire thing if I can. It's going to be hype. It's going to be hype. And again, guys, whenever you see this video, probably literally the day after, I will have a predictions video for this Kickoff LAN. I'm hoping that I'll have this out on Tuesday. I'm recording it on Monday night at literally it's like 11:30. But I'm planning on having this out on Tuesday potentially. and then hopefully the predictions video on Wednesday. Worst case scenario, this video Wednesday and then the predictions on Thursday. But yeah, it's grind time. Anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.